Live from Citizen TV, this is JKL with Jeff Koinange.
And you know, if it's Wednesday, it's all about those three letters on the keyboard that follow each other. JKL. Welcome to the last Wednesday in January. You see that figure there? 11 billion shillings? That was the screaming headlines in today's Daily Nation. 11 billion shillings looted from Shah. No surprise there. Where do we go from here? Well, on the bench today, we've got the Cabinet Secretary for Health, Aden Duale. He's been steaming today, Ayub. He's been on the roll, saying they must be held accountable and the money returned.
He spoke for nearly an hour before the lawmakers in Nakuru County. We have details of that story and much more, of course, with regards to the clarity required, where the money went, and the fraudulent claims that are on the rise.
I always say, follow the money. Ausio.
The money trace.
Money trace. It's going to be a great show for us tonight, folks. And I know you have the questions. Plenty of them. Bring them on. What questions do you want to ask Cabinet Secretary for Health, Aden Duale? Start tweeting at Koinange Jeff.
At Ayub Abdikadir.
At Citizen TV. The hashtag is JKLive. JKLive begins right now. Tonight.
We found one facility in a county where they told us level 3, they said they are doing C-section. So I walked into that facility and I asked, the governor said that facility cannot do C-section because there's no theater.
Stealing in billions. 70 medics under investigation as Health CS gives an account of how 11 billion Kenya shillings was allegedly looted from the Social Health Authority.
Yourself and your PS, you have the most clueless PS in the Ministry of Education. Most clueless.
Clueless leadership, MPs stand the hit on Education Ministry over controversial policy decisions, even as Rift Valley lawmakers rally to defend PS Julius Bitok. United opposition to reveal presidential candidate soon, pledging to stay united as they gear up to challenge President William Ruto in the coming general election.
For the reasons aforesaid, I find the petition lacks merit and I hereby dismiss the same in its entirety.
Cooperative Bank building bomb blast victims left devastated after court dismisses their compensation case more than 2 decades after the attack. Joki Shege is our sign language interpreter. The Ministry of Health is yet again on the spot with revelations that the country lost 11 billion Kenya shillings in half a year in yet another scandal. Even after the installation of what was termed as tight procedures and waterproof IT system to secure the hard-earned deductions from Kenyan employees, the billions were still siphoned through fictitious surgeries and fraudulent claims by health facilities in the country, with the help of Social Health Authority workers. Appearing before the National Assembly lawmakers in Nakuru County, Health CS Aden Duale disclosed a new trend where expectant women were forced to undergo surgeries during childbirth, some of which were unnecessary, to inflate the claims. As our political affairs reporter Emmanuel Toh now tells us in the following report, 50 medics have been struck off from the list of those with Social Health Authority authorization rights as part of the crackdown, which now begins according to the ministry.
His presentation before the National Assembly retreat in Naivasha, Nakuru County laid bare how the taxpayer lost 11 billion shillings in just 6 months from October 2024 to April 2025. Health Cabinet Secretary Aden Duale lifting the lid on how many privately owned health facilities forced mothers to the theater for delivery.
Because C-section is complicated first. It's a surgery, it's a theater. It's 30,000 reimbursement. But normal delivery is 10. And because of greed, it's a social problem. Somebody wants to force a mother to a C-section when she can do normal delivery. But because he's looking at the difference of the 20,000.
Even so, Duale revealed that many of the forced C-section surgeries were fake.
We found one facility in a county where they told us level 3, they said they are doing C-section. So I walked into that facility and I asked, the governor said that facility cannot do C-section because there's no theater.
Lakini siku hizi hakuna wa kusema sukuma, wanasema tu peleka theater, pasua toa mtoto. We want to go back to sukuma.
CS Duale enumerating other cases of fraudulent documentation, mostly filled by one individual, which were used to siphon the billions from SHA coffers.
We have one patient whose dependent children were 381 in Kwale County. In Kwale County. And we are giving such patients, we are giving them to the DCI.
Members of the National Assembly pushing the CS to reveal the details of the individuals who were caught in the scandal and the measures taken so far.
Waziri, why haven't we seen a single person take plea in the court of law for fraud or for corruption?
Two of the former CEO of SHA are before court. 25 doctors, SHA has withdrawn their rights to access.
CS Duale saying he presented over 1,000 files to the DCI for investigation in September last year, but the pace of settling the cases is yet to hit 100%.
And one of the most best counties, Muranga County.
Despite the gloomy picture, the ministry still presented a case of a fairly successful SHA rollout, revealing that more than 29 million Kenyans had already registered to the platform. As the government ramps up the implementation of the Social Health Authority, the ghosts that undermined the National Health Insurance Fund seem to have come back alive, even as the Ministry of Health now promises to go after all the cartels who were involved in the fresh 11 billion shillings scandal. Emmanuel Toh, Citizen TV, Naivasha constituency, Nakuru County.
And the Cabinet Secretary is on the bench with Jeff.
He's already here. And we are on fire. But yes, good to see you.
Man, long time.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I've missed you.
I've missed you too. Listen, where is that money? Where is the 11 billion shillings? What happened? There's screaming headlines in the daily nations.
Of course, you know media better than me. Screaming headlines sell. If you say SHA is working, it will not sell. But screaming headlines, they'll get out of the shelf.
But there's smoke where there's fire. There is smoke where there's fire.
No, I'm saying you read the content inside. Forget about the screaming headline.
Tell me something.
Yes.
Where is that 11 billion shillings?
No, in fact, it's 11.6 billion as I was entering the studio. Because every day we reject fraudulent claims. Every day, as of this evening, we have rejected 11.6 billion.
As of this evening?
Because, you know, as of this evening, and we can tell you in the different health facilities, private, public. So the 11 billion is what we have rejected. The system has rejected.
But 11
and out of the 11 billion, about 1.8 billion has been paid.
Okay, but okay. I don't care how much has been paid.
No, you care.
11 billion has disappeared.
No, not disappeared. Has been rejected. Facilities made claims worth 11 billion. The system, and most of these 11 billion were fraudulent claims. And I'll explain to you one by one which categorization. And the system picked, and it went through different validation review, clinical reviews, and we are not paying. So we know the facilities, whether they are public, private, and this happened during the initial transition period between the former defunct NHIF to SHA.
You say
so many of the fraudulent facilities that have milked NHIF since independence migrated to SHA. But little did they know that, and I want to make clear to the people of Kenya, going forward, every coin of a Kenyan he has paid for his healthcare insurance. If you steal it, the system will detect you, will flag you, and the government will prosecute you.
Yeah, that's not true. That's not true because you in your press conference were saying, you know what, these people must repay this money. So this money has left your system and gone into those private hospitals.
You know, Jeff, while you are away,
Yes.
I delivered 118 files to the DCI. Of fraud facilities. 24 of them have been investigated by the DCI, prosecuted by the ODPP, and among those are 2 former CEOs of Social Health Authority, a number of accountants and senior officials of Social Health Authority, directors and owners of the 24 facilities, and the investigation is going on. I think the DCI must be submitting another 30 plus this week. So it's not business as usual.
You know, you say that very confidently here on the bench, but...
And about 1,118, I have gazetted them. They have been removed from the Social Health Authority portal. We have suspended and denied and withdrawn the rights of close to 30 medical doctors, about 31 clinical officers who were part of the fraudulent activity.
Okay.
Some of them have been charged also.
Is money missing?
1.8 billion now, out of the 11 billion rejected, was paid. Some of them are the ones who are charged. Some of the facilities are now making an arrangement because we have told them we need to recover our money. So there is a process with the Social Health Authority where, because you know they do business with us.
Oh, yes.
We have their claims.
Sure.
So instead of paying, we retain our money.
But listen, Waziri, listen real quick. SHA is a mess. That's what people are saying. SHA is a mess.
While you are away, numbers don't lie. As we sit here, 29 million Kenyans have registered. More than half the population.
Yeah, they've been forced
to
register. They've been forced to.
By the way, you are wrong. Nobody even has done marketing for Kenyans to register. Kenyans are registering every day between 20 to 30,000 using their phones. So numbers don't lie. 29 million Kenyans have registered. 130.4 billion shillings we have collected in 14 months. 93.4 billion we have paid. Our facilities are getting money now than even in the NHIF period. Our settlement rate is at 73%. Numbers don't lie, my friend. So don't say, please, you know, maybe you have a very comprehensive medical insurance given to you by the Royal Media Service.
Correct.
Talk to the Kenyans who don't have that comprehensive medical cover. Maybe you are not sick. Me and you are not sick. There are Kenyans who are sick. The 29 million.
Okay.
Out of the 29 million, if you are aware, there is a primary health care, which is free. And now we have introduced what we call the green charters, which we are going to put in all level 2 and level 3 dispensaries and health centers, because some people were charging, co-charging.
Okay. You'll explain that very shortly, but at the end of the day, before I let you go, where is the 1.6 billion shillings?
Where am I going? I thought I'm staying here.
You're staying here. You know,
yeah.
We have to go back to
called
Ayub.
me.
We have to go back to Ayub.
Oh, yeah, but say,
yes.
I'll come back.
Okay.
I'm not leaving myself.
You're not leaving. Where is the 11.6 billion? Where is it?
No, I have told you, and I'll give you the numbers. 11.6 billion have been rejected.
Okay, fine.
1.8 have been paid.
Hold that thought, because I'm not convinced. And if I'm not convinced, Kenyans are not convinced, and you need to explain more of that.
No. I mean,
Ayub.
You can decide not to be convinced.
Let's go to Ayub. Ayub, carry on.
Of course, Waziri appreciates our warm hospitality, so he'll be here till midnight probably, until it crosses over, given the critical docket he holds. Religious leaders have today faulted security agencies over what they termed as laxity in investigating an attack on a church service at Witima ACK Church in Nyeri County on Sunday by elements they called included armed policemen. ACK Archbishop Jackson Ole Sapit says the incident points to a worrying pattern or trend of attacks targeting religious institutions, even as he called for political tolerance. Meanwhile, Interior CS Kipchumba Murkomen has warned that stern legal action will be taken against planners and the perpetrators of the violence during the political gatherings. Here's Laura Otieno with that report.
3 days after a church service was disrupted at the ACK Witima Church in Othaya, the clergy has condemned the attack that left several people injured and property of unknown value destroyed. Anglican Archbishop Jackson Ole Sapit says the incident points to a troubling pattern of attacks on religious institutions in recent months, accusing security agencies of dragging their feet in investigating the chaos.
Now the worrisome part is they normally present themselves as good. Stones can be held by anybody and can be thrown by anybody. We don't dispute that. But who threw tear gas in an active worship in the church must be part of our security agencies.
The United Clergy Alliance also termed the attack as a blatant disregard of the sanctity of the pulpit, even as it issued a clarion call for political tolerance.
You cannot even deny a witch doctor from coming to church. Even about denying a politician. You cannot even deny a mantala from coming to church. Anybody try to say, I can deny this person from coming to church, deny this other person, it is unfortunate.
Serikali ambaye tumesimama naye kama kanisa ihakikishe kanisa iko na usalama wa kutosha sana sana wakati huu wa kuabudu.
Speaking in Kirinyaga County, Interior CS Kipchumba Murkomen issued a stern warning to the political class over the increasing instances of political violence as well as foul language directed at political opponents.
Tusifanye siasa ya kutafuta goons, tusifanye siasa ya kulingana mawe, tusifanye siasa ya kupigana kanisa. Na mimi naongea kama waziri ya usalama. Tutakufanyia hatua ya kisheria kama wewe utaleta vita kwa kanisa ama kwa mkutano ya mwanasiasa wowote. Haijalishi ni mwanasiasa wa mrengo fulani, siasa yote ambayo ni duni ya kupigana mawe na kupigana mangumi, hiyo lazima ikome.
Police Inspector Douglas Kanja had in a statement said that the police have begun investigations into the attack. Laura Otieno, Citizen TV.
Opposition leaders have told the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, to suspend any further engagements with technology firm Smartmatic and that they will not accept the firm to take part in the 2027 general election. The leaders who held lengthy meeting with the commission and the chairperson Erastus Edung Ethekon also presented wide range of concerns, including insecurity issues witnessed in the concluded by-elections in November 2025. Here's our chief political reporter, Stephen Leto.
The United Opposition stormed IEBC offices Wednesday afternoon in what was fashioned as a courtesy call. However, inside the commission's boardroom, temperatures ran high as the opposition leaders demanded assurance of a free and fair election next year.
We did raise the issue that we were not happy with the process that gave birth to the commission. But now that they are in office, they are there to serve all of us as Kenyans. We are all as Kenyans interested in the well-being of this country.
However, the elephant in the room is the Venezuelan-based firm Smartmatic that has previously provided IEBC with the election technology, including biometric voter registration, identification through KIMS and results transmission. The opposition told the IEBC to suspend any further engagements with the firm, whose contract was renewed just before the new commissioners took office.
The discredited Smartmatic organization, discredited worldwide. As you all know by now, the Carmagos and others, and what has happened in Venezuela recently. So they have to give us demonstrable outcomes. So we've agreed we are going to work together and have some technical teams working together.
This same technology was used recently in Uganda. The KIMS kit failed in Uganda. We do not want to see a similar election in Kenya. So there are serious issues of concern we have raised, and we believe they will address. All we are waiting for is goodwill and confidence building through a roadmap that we will be engaging quarterly with them.
Opposition figures who held the meeting in camera at the IEBC headquarters raised questions regarding the security of the electronic transmission and potential manipulation following revelation of questionable dealings of the Venezuelan firm.
The perception out there is that this is a William Ruto commission, and we gave them the opportunity to prove us wrong. Not us, the whole country.
The opposition demanded that the August 2027 general election must be handled with the seriousness it deserves, citing previous cases, including insecurity in polling stations witnessed during the by-elections.
That the next general election is very emotive, and they need to prepare adequately, and they need to gain the confidence of the people of Kenya that they will deliver a credible election. Because if the people of Kenya feel it will not be a credible election, the temperatures could rise and we could have a challenge that we don't wish to witness.
As long as they demonstrate and continue to show good faith as we move forward, we will continue to work with them, because this is important for us, important for the country.
The opposition now wants the IEBC to immediately embark on mass voter registration to ensure majority of the youth register as voters. Stephen Letos, Citizen TV.
We will stick together and name a joint presidential candidate ahead of the 2027 general election. That's according to the United Opposition. Speaking during the National Delegates Conference of the Democratic Party, DP, the leaders also announced that they will start legal proceedings against perpetrators of last Sunday's attacks against DCP leader and former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua during a church service in Othaya in Nyeri County. Seth Olale has that report.
The United Opposition, that includes party leaders from DCP, Wiper, Jubilee, DAPK, PLP and DP Party, says it is closing in on naming its 2027 presidential candidate.
That we shall make whatever sacrifices necessary to have one presidential candidate.
We are going to call for one forum for all the one-term movement candidates everywhere in the country to get together and agree, because that is how we are now also going to bolster our voter registration numbers.
Anyone who's betting for our differences, you will lose your bet. You will lose your bet.
The United Opposition saying there was no other alternative in facing off with the incumbent president.
Tuko pamoja as United Opposition with one common purpose, kuleta uongozi bora katika nchi yetu.
Our unity is not a choice, it's an imperative.
History will judge us not by what we said, but by whether we rose when the nation needed us most.
The leaders, while attending the DP National Delegates Conference at Ufungamano House, Nairobi County, announced that the United Opposition will take legal action against perpetrators of the attack against DCP leader Rigathi Gachagua in Othaya, Nyeri County.
That attack was not just a normal attack. We now have the details. It was an assassination attempt.
We are going to Vigilante House as a starting point.
Delegates drawn from all the 47 counties formally endorsed party leader Justin Muturi as DP's candidate for the 2027 presidential contest.
Our mission is to provide a democratic government that enhances social and economic welfare and guarantees equal opportunities for all citizens.
In determining who's going to face incumbent President William Ruto in the 2027 general election, the United Opposition says it's going to use various methods, including consensus, scientific approach, and popularity matrix. Seth Olale, Citizen TV, Ufungamano House, Nairobi County.
The leadership of the Ministry of Education today found itself on the receiving end of the wrath of the National Assembly lawmakers over the implementation of some of its key policies, including the transition to grade 10. The Cabinet Secretary Julius Ogamba Migos found himself hard-pressed by the lawmakers to defend himself and the principal secretaries over what the lawmakers said were clueless Cabinet Secretary and Principal Secretaries, questioning him on the transition rates, school capitation and uniform policies, amongst others. This comes as the ministry maintained that it had achieved 96% transition of learners from grade 9 to grade 10, as Brenda Wanga tells us in the following report.
What had started as a status update to the MPs on the ongoing transition to grade 10 quickly descended into a referendum on the performance of the Ministry of Education's leadership. The MPs demanding answers from the ministry on a range of cross-cutting issues, from school uniforms to school feeding, from education financing and teacher allocation.
What are you doing to ensure that the capitation that now will be sent to schools is sent so that those students can learn comfortably? That was the question, Bwana CS. I wasn't talking about the disbursement of funds. I know the funds were already disbursed.
I would want the CS to tell this house, when was the last time the ministry disbursed 22,000 shillings to any school in this country? And when the capitations of this year came to schools, were they to pay the debts for last year or for this term? And how much was to pay the debts for last year and how much is for this term?
So there is a discrepancy between the policy and what we are allocated. And so it is up to this house to provide that balance of 48 billion for us to be able to release the actual amount that is stipulated in the policy. Every year, the ministry requests for these figures, but the allocation is normally not given as at the rate requested, and I showed that table in that position.
CS Ogamba, while admitting to a 48 billion shillings deficit in the funding of basic education, found the going hard when MPs demanded to know the exact cost of educating a child from ECD to university in the country.
As a country, do not know how much it costs to educate a child from grade 1 all the way to university.
If we don't know how much a kid costs to teach, how do you budget? And number two, then who does the minister expect to do that analysis? Whom does he expect to do that actual thing?
But the most scathing attack on the ministry's leadership came from the leader of majority in the National Assembly, targeted at not just the CS but his PS as well, especially over oversight of the implementation of the ministry's policies.
Because yourself and your PS, you have the most clueless PS in the Ministry of Education. Most clueless. He only sits in Nairobi and has no idea what goes on the ground. Get out of your offices in Nairobi, go to the ground, deal with the problems there.
Attacking the PSA and speaking to Kalari has nothing else than to bring out an issue that there could be the other grounds and reasons beyond the ministry. Why attack on someone? And in any case, the minister himself, who is the supervisor of the ministry, was here.
The ministry says it has achieved 96% transition of grade 10 learners. Of this, 52% were placed in the STEM pathway, 38% in social sciences, while 10% will undertake the arts and science pathway. The majority of learners were placed in Cluster 4 or day schools, while Cluster 1 schools, formerly national schools, took in only 10% of the grade 10 learners. Brenda Wanga, Citizen TV.
A house, albeit too little, realizing its most fundamental constitutional role Well, think about what happened in Naivasha, with the MPs now calling out the Ministry of Education officials. When we get back from the break, plenty to run you through, including this interview, which also will be based on the questions that we'll be sending in. The Cabinet Secretary, Adan Duale, will be in the company of Jeff Koinange to respond to all those questions that you have, the clarity and why, as a Kenyan, you deserve accessible and quality healthcare as a voter. All that is after the break here on the broadcast. Stay tuned. Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. A young girl remains at home in Kajiado County after failing to raise school fees needed to join senior secondary school. In Nandi County, another learner has been helped by police officers to enroll in grade 10. In Nairobi County, a grade 10 student is also stranded after State House Boys High School turned him away twice over lack of fees. His attempts to join Dandora Senior Secondary School also failed, adding to the growing number of thousands of learners across the country locked out of learning opportunity. Contrary to President William Ruto's directive, education stakeholders now dispute the government's claim that most learners have joined grade 10, saying more than half remain at home. Willie Lusige has that report.
Anita Momeo, who completed junior secondary school, now spends her days cleaning milk jerrycans alongside her mother in Ilbisil town in Kajiado County. She was sent back home after reporting to Enomatasiani Girls Secondary School. She failed to pay school fees and lacked basic requirements, leaving her with only exercise books. Despite this setback, her dream of carrying on with her education remains alive.
Naamka kila siku asubuhi, naenda na mamangu kazini kwa sababu napoona wenzangu wakienda shuleni, naanza kupoteza matumaini kwamba sitaenda shuleni tena. Kwa hivyo naomba msaada wenu mweze kunisaidia niweze kwenda shuleni.
Her mother, a single parent, says she has tried everything possible without success. She remains at her home with her daughter, uncertain of what to do next.
Mapato yangu iko chini. Sasa haiwezi lipa hiyo school fees. Naomba tu nisaidiwe. Niko na watoto 4, yeye ndio wa kwanza. Hao wengine wananitegemea, mimi ndio wananitegemea wote.
Similar challenges are being experienced by learners across the country. In Nairobi, Emmanuel Tangat from Dandora secured a place at State House Boys High School, but was turned away twice due to lack of school fees and uniform. His attempt to enroll at Dandora Senior Secondary Day School also failed.
Nilikuwa na uwezo wa kumpeleka State House Boys. Nimeenda huko mara ya kwanza, nikaambiwa unaweza aje leta mtoto shule bila school fees. Nikasikia watu wakisema President ametangaza watoto wapelekwe shule na uniform yenye walikuwa nayo. Nilienda tena kwa hiyo shule, wakaniambia mtoto atakula nini na atavaa nini.
In Nandi County, the situation was different for Susan Chepto, who walked into Kapsabet police station after failing to join school due to poverty. A group of police officers contributed and enrolled her in grade 10.
I want to pronounce very confidently that this year we are going to make sure she'll go through her studies without any problem.
Education stakeholders say data in their possession show that more than 50% of learners have not joined grade 10, arguing that the government directive has not been supported by clear implementation measures.
We still have roughly 55% who have not yet gone to school. My first request to the president is, so how are the stakeholders, even at the community level, going to be embedded to ensure that the 100% transition is taken to effect?
Without clear frameworks from the Ministry of Education, the goal of ensuring 100% transition to grade 10 may remain out of reach for many. With a huge percentage of students already having joined senior secondary schools across the country under grade 10, a number of them are still stranded at their homes, calling on the government to make sure that it puts measures in place to allow 100% transition. Willie Lusige, Citizen TV at Dandora.
Victims and families of the 1998 Nairobi bombing suffered a major setback after the High Court dismissed a compensation petition, bringing to a close a case many had hoped would finally deliver justice. In its ruling, the High Court found that the petitioners failed to prove the government had prior intelligence that could have prevented the bombing. While acknowledging the immense suffering endured by the survivors and the bereaved families, Justice Lawrence Mugambi, regardless, emphasized that sympathy could not replace the legal constitutional threshold required to establish state liability. Ben Kirui attended the proceedings and filed the following report. It was a long and draining wait for victims and families of the 1998 Nairobi bomb blast, a more than 25-year wait that quickly turned into disappointment, dejection and pain after the High Court dismissed their compensation case. Pain and sorrow was evident on their faces as Justice Lawrence Mugambi delivered the ruling in a petition filed in August 2019, dismissing the petition on grounds that it lacked the legal foundation required to hold the government liable for the attack. While acknowledging the immense suffering endured by the victims, the court ruled that the legal threshold for state responsibility had not been met.
This court finds and holds that the petitioners failed to prove the respondents acted in a manner so as to endanger the lives of the persons who died out of the bomb attack. For the reasons aforesaid, I find the petition lacks merit and I hereby dismiss the same in its entirety.
The decision dealt a fresh blow to survivors who have lived with permanent injuries, trauma and economic hardship for more than 2 decades. Many openly and emotionally expressed their disappointment with the outcome.
If the ruling class were affected in this, we could get justice. But now, this is injustice, pure injustice in the justice system.
We are truly disheartened. For close to 3 decades, these men and women you are seeing over here and elsewhere have been waiting for justice to be served.
If we cannot get we cannot get justice in Kenya, in our own country, kama hawagi wamekataa, Wamarekani watakubali aje?
The ruling came just 2 days after the death of lead petitioner Reverend Evanson Ndongo Gitu, who had remained hopeful as he awaited the judgment. His daughter Ruth Mwihaki described the decision as a double blow to the family.
We have been dismissed to a bomb that happened that does not need evidence. It happened. You know, the bomb happened. So because it happened, were people around? We are the people who are around. What other evidence does anyone need?
Mtoto wangu alikuwa anaitwa Masho Wajiko, alikuwa anafanya kazi ufundi cooperative na alikuwa director huko. Kwa hivyo hatuna hofu ati matatupatia. Hatuna, Mungu asikuwa aongee ndani yao. Atume ile Roho Mtakatifu alitupatia.
In their petition, victims had told the court that they had been abandoned by the state despite years of suffering, noting that the United States government had already compensated families of American citizens affected by the blast.
Basically, we were coming to court to tell the court the U.S. government has compensated its citizens. Why are you not compensating Kenyan victims?
Correct.
After nearly 7 years of pursuing compensation and accountability, families of victims of the 1998 Nairobi bomb blast leave the court premises dejected and disappointed. While they say they respect the court's decision, they say they will be heading to the Court of Appeal. Ben Kirui, Citizen TV, Nairobi. A family in Mlolongo in Machakos County has been thrown into mourning following the death of 3 children who are allegedly poisoned by their biological mother. 4-year-old Adrian Ochieng, 1-year-old Kayla Ann, and 1-year-old Kayla Kerubo died after consuming food laced with poison on Monday before their mother Lynette Munala escaped. The suspect has since been arrested and is being held at Mlolongo Police Station.
Alex Oyeyo breaks down seconds after we start our interview. The pain of losing his 3 children at the hands of their own mother is too much to bear. Never in his wildest dreams did he think that the woman he refers to as the love of his life, his better half, could turn to be the source of his anguish. The beautiful story of this family was rewritten on Monday morning when Lynette Munala, a trained pharmacist who was a housewife, allegedly laced food with poison and gave her children while the husband was away at work.
Baba yao alikuwa mbali kidogo, ndiye alinipigia simu kama mimi kuniambia ya kwamba watoto wamekufa. Kujaribu kumuuliza kindani ni nini, Hata yeye hakuwa anajua sababu yenye ilifanya ya pipi yake kuua watoto.
I was the first person wenye tulipigwa simu immediate tukakimbia kwa scene. So far ni chambo ya kutatanisha. We've been seen so by pictures and hata wengine unashindwa kulala.
The family says Oyeyo and Munala have had marital differences in the recent past. Oyeyo confirmed involving his family in a bid to reconcile days before the wife allegedly committed the horrific act. She reportedly confessed to a friend before going into hiding.
Chenye ningeomba serikali yetu wajaribu kutusaidia katika uchunguzi ili tukaweze kujua janzo cha hili jambo. Ndio ikae kama funzo kwa watu wengine wenye wako na mtindo wa kutenda jambo mbaya.
A post-mortem to ascertain cause of death for the 3 children, 4-year-old Adrian Ocheng, 1-year-old Kayla Ann, and her twin Kayla Kerubo was conducted at Nairobi Funeral Home. The autopsy confirmed poisoning, but more samples were taken to the government chemist for toxicological analysis.
Tumeambiwa ya kwamba watoto ni kama walipewa sumu yenye haijajulikana ni sumu aina gani.
The suspect Lynette Munala was arrested by detectives from her hideout. She was arraigned on Tuesday at Athi River Law Courts, where police were granted 14 days to hold her as they continue with investigations. Gatete Njoroge, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Now hear this story. The Directorate of Criminal Investigations at Central Police Station is investigating a high-stakes fake gold scam in which an American national lost 37 million Kenya shillings. Detectives raided a home in Kilimani, Nairobi County, where the suspects had staged an elaborate setups to deceive potential buyers, only for the promised gold to turn out to be fake. As Ode Francis now reports, 2 suspects, Paul Chogo and Collins Onyango, are now being sought in connection with the scam.
The sting operation led detectives to this house along Hurlingham's Rosewood Avenue. Here, DCI officers head to forcefully gain entry. The team was accompanied by the man at the center of this investigation, an American citizen, David White Odale, who traveled to Kenya to purchase 150 kilograms of gold and paid 37 million shillings upfront.
And so I witnessed an operation where they were smelting. They had 150 there in nugget form, and they did the smelting there at the compound. The gentleman that was the shipping agent and ran it, his name was Collins. And the gentleman that approached us and we conversed with for a good period of time, his name was Paul Chogo.
After paying the deposit and signing an agreement with the sellers on December 12th, David White was brought into this vault room bearing the name Sky Eagles Ultra Vault Limited. The arrangement was that upon full payment, the gold would be released and shipped to the United States. But before that, the consignment had to be secured.
Both had joint combinations. Paul Chogo had it's 4 digits to get it open. He put in 2, everybody turned it back, and then I put in 2, and that was that. So we come back on the 3rd. So after we agreed to go ahead and do the 150, there was more collateral to be given. And so we went back that evening or the next day, and Collins gave us another additional 4 kilograms in a separate box.
White then began the waiting.
We agreed on the 150. Then after it was all done, they said, well, we can't ship it cargo. You have to hire a jet. And they started talking about a jet. And I thought, well, that's on you guys because we pay for the shipping.
So he realized that there was a breach when there was a change in the transportation and breakdown in communication.
Well, they give us a real big invoice.
During the raid, police confiscated what looked like genuine gold from one of the safe. Now, it is in this very small room that the US-based turned gold scam victim entered and promised that gold was in this very closet. He was given codes, that is a password, together with a key, only to realize that it was a scam.
These are yours? Yes.
We returned to Central Police Station to inspect the gold allegedly purchased by David White. Upon opening the box, it was found to contain 6 pieces resembling gold. The samples were submitted to the Ministry of Mining, who after analysis established it was all fake yellow metallic bar, which is found to be brass. The 2 individuals, Paul Chogo and Collins Onyango Opinde, are now being sought by detectives for their alleged involvement in the gold fraud syndicate. According to police, the business of selling non-existent gold has become rampant in the city, leaving victims counting heavy losses. Ode Francis, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Kennedy Aura from Ruaka in Kiambu County has sorted his financial worries this month after bagging 500,000 Kenya shillings in the ongoing Sot Njanware Kishabiki promotion.
Have to. Shabiki nimekuwa nikifuatilia from last year promotion zao na ni kitu nimekuwa nikijaribu, but finally imejipa this time na ni somo moja tu pekee nikapata nusu milioni. So pia unaweza take that chance. Kama hujafungua account unaweza fika kwa website yao, fungua account. Mshindi next it can be you. Take your time. Shabiki wamekuja at the right time for me. Nilikuwa na project home Shago, nilikuwa najenga. Unfortunately pesa ikaleta ngori kidogo, so project ikasimama. So sasa hii kutoka hapa take home.
And Waziri is still here with Jeff.
Absolutely, sitting patiently since the top of the hour. CS for Health, Aiden Duale is in the house answering the tough questions that headline the Daily Nation. 11 billion shillings looted from Shah, and other stories health related. What are your thoughts? Keep tweeting at Koinanga Jeff,
at Ayub Abdikadir,
at Citizen TV Kenya. The hashtag is JKLive. JKLive takes a break. We'll be back with the CS in a moment. And welcome back. It's about 54 minutes past the hour, 9 o'clock on this Wednesday, last Wednesday in January. Thanks so much for being with us. Cabinet Secretary for Health Aiden Duale is on the bench after a headline in today's papers that said 11 billion shillings looted from Shah. By the way, CS, in any civilized society, if a headline like this was screaming out there, the health CS would have resigned. In China, you would be in jail today.
Why?
Because the buck stops with you.
Of course, the buck stops with me. And it's us who rejected the 11.6 billion rejected fraudulent claims. And that's why I'm the Minister for Health. And out of the rejected claims, the 11 billion, the highest figure is with the private health facility providers, 6.8 billion. The ones are rejected. The county government's about 2.8 billion, that's the public health facilities. The faith-based is about 1.1. And my own referrals, Ministry of Health run referrals. The Kenyatta Hospital, the MTRH, Jaramogi, Kenyatta University, Mathare, put them together, Odaya, about 450
million.
No, I think it's about 500 million.
Tell me
something. The rejection and fraud in the insurance industry is a global problem. And so we are not exceptional. In that, if I give you global statistics, maybe I picked on 3 countries. In India, globally, average is 14% rejections and fraud. But in India is about 11% as per 2023. In the US, it's about 20%. Estonia is a small country, is about 6%, and they have got very good digital system. Digitization is the key to insurance fraud. These rejections, what are they? Okay, and why do we reject? The system the digital health system detects patterns. So when you lodge your claims, first it will ask you, where are your invoices? You lodge your claims and invoices, it will first confirm whether the facility is legally in existence. Does it have a contract with the Social Health Authority? Has it been licensed by the regulator, Kenya Medical Practitioners and Dentists Council or the Clinical Council of Kenya? Then it is studies. So one of the 3 to 4 main reasons why rejections have happened, and these have happened during the initial first 6 months of SHA, October 2024 all the way to April when I came in as the Minister for Health. I came in April, I think 17th, around there. You will find people who claim for maternity. The benefit tariff for a C-section, if a mother delivers through a C-section, the benefit is 30,000. For normal delivery, SHA reimburses 10,000 to facilities. Now, because of greed and because of fraud, and facilities some of the people are not intelligent, the WHO and international standard is that C-sections is between 10 to 15%. So you'll find a facility submitting 99% of the deliveries in their facility was C-section. The system says no. This is against the international standards. That's number one. So SHA will not, that set of claims is rejected. 2, even you, a claim form is a legal document. It's attached to the Social Health Authority and Social Health Insurance Fund legal documents passed by Parliament. Now, if you go to your, for example, to your doctor in Nairobi, in Karen Hospital, in Aga Khan, the claim form is filled by 3 different sets of people. The patient, you fill the first part, your name, your BO box, blah, blah. The second part is filled by your doctor. And the third bit is filled by the hospital administrator, who will ultimately work with the claim officers in that facility to ask for reimbursement. So what happens when all the claims form from a particular facility is filled by one person, same handwriting, same biro pen? That claim form is automatic.
How can you tell? How can you tell it's the same person, same biro?
You can tell the handwriting. What's wrong with you? You use your eyes. The handwriting of a doctor, the handwriting of a patient, the handwriting of a hospital administrator cannot be the same. What's wrong with you? Have you gone to school?
Yeah.
Yeah. It depends on your grades in handwriting. Secondly, and let's continue, when you claim for a surgery, and you have seen when patients are being wheeled to theaters, there's a file on their bed. Those files are called theater notes. And the doctor, after he does the procedure, he will fill, and those are what we call theater notes. For this insurance company, for the social health insurance company to pay you, to reimburse you after you claim, you must provide theater notes.
Right.
Okay?
Yep.
So if theater notes are missing, then will SHA pay? No.
So how come they got away with this?
Just a minute.
How was this looted? That's
Just
what
a
I want to
minute.
know.
That's rejections. The 11 billion is rejection.
Well, it's not rejection. It was looted.
By, when okay. Now let me help you with this headline. I can see you are referring to it many times.
Yes.
So that we move.
Yes.
When we rejected 6.8 for private health facilities, 2.8 for public health facilities in the counties, 500 million for the referral hospitals, 1.1 for faith-based. When you combine, it comes 11 billion. Ideally, they were to be paid. Am I right?
Right.
But from where we sit, what they were doing was, if we paid this, then they were looting the Social Health Authority. Okay? So they wanted to loot 11 billion from the Social Health Authority. What helped us is the system, which was not there during the defunct NHIF. So the fraudulent characters who are working with the insiders within the insurance authority migrated to SHA. Little did they know that now we have the Social Health Authority as one entity, and we have the Digital Health Agency as another separate entity, but working together to make sure that digitization. Today we have something called Afya Yangu. You can download it. It's for patients. It shows your records. You can register. You can do pre-authorization messages you receive. Then we have the app Practice 360 for doctors. 38 systems brought together under that. So these rejections are among the reasons I've given you if you don't provide the right documents. Another key rejection I'll give you. If a mother delivers in a health facility, X, in any part of our country, private, public, faith-based, when a baby is born, there is a legal document that must be filled called birth notification.
Correct.
I'm sure if you go back to where you were born,
yes.
At least I was not born in a hospital.
Where were you born?
I was born somewhere in the remote parts of northern Kenya. But I'm sure you are from you are living in the highlands. Sessional paper number 6. So if we trace where Jeff Koinange was paid,
yes.
I mean where he was born, you'll find a birth notification document.
Yes.
So when you present your claims for maternity to the Social Health Authority, you must attach that legal document, birth notification. When that birth notification document is missing, then the Social Health Authority leadership cannot exactly know if a child was born. So that is a rejection. That happened between October to this. If you now look at today our rejection rate at Social Health Authority and DHA, it has drastically reduced by about 51%.
Okay, but would you agree, Waziri, that Afya House is Mafia House?
When I went there, and I think I was here.
Yeah, I interviewed you, I think.
And at that time I denied.
Yes.
After 3 weeks, I realized there was some truth about why Kenyans call it Mafia House.
Yes.
But today is Afya House.
No.
Today it is. How do you know? I'm the one who works there from 8 to 5.
And you refuse to resign.
Resign? Why? Why should I resign? You know, there are reasons why one should resign. And in fact, I don't need to resign. If I commit anything contrary to my oath of office, there are various ways of dealing with me. Impeaching me by parliament, the criminal justice system dealing with me if I have integrity issues. I am a political appointee. The president can one morning say, I need another minister for health. But let me go. You know, Jeff, Social Health Authority, which is 14 months old, which has replaced NHIF, which had less than 9 million Kenyans. Today, SHA has 29 million. Okay? NHIF annually used to collect about 39 billion. In 14 months, SHA has collected 130 billion, has paid 93.4 billion. It has served 80 million primary health care at facilities 8 million Kenyans at the primary health care facilities, which is free, funded by the exchequer. And the news story in town, since I left, is people were still charging Kenyans, outpatient, at level 2 and level 3 for dispensary health center. Now we have introduced something called the green label, walk in, walk out. We started with the Bomet Health Center. And the charter says, you as a citizen, you all need to register as SHA, don't pay the premium, be a member. For small ailments, homa, malaria, you go to the hospital, you get lab tests, you see a doctor, you get medicine. Then you come to those who require specialized treatment, the Social Health Insurance Fund, who pay the 2.7%.
No.
You pay.
That we all pay.
You pay, all pay, where you can go to any level 5, level 6, level 4 hospitals, public, private, faith-based. And in these hospitals, when you go for specialized treatment, unlike during the NHIF, there is a new program that the government introduced called the National Equipment Program. Now, all our counties, over 120 facilities in our country, county facilities, and 6 of our referrals have the latest equipment. Hospitals must have equipment. Yeah. Hospitals should not be buildings. It's only hotels who are buildings with beds. But for a hospital to be called a hospital, equipment is imperative. So today, if you go to Lamu, King Fahd, where people used to come all the way to Mombasa or Malindi, today King Fahd, I'm giving an example, has an ICU facility, has a theater, has an oxygen plant, has a pediatric wing, has a private wing. Now you'll find CT scan, dialysis machines, mammograph, all those machines, theater machines in all our sub-county hospitals. I told you 120, and we're putting more. Our referral system to Kenyatta Hospital, to big hospitals, has reduced by 60%.
Tell me something, Waziri. You talked about 29 million Kenyans on SHA, right?
Yeah.
Other than those who have registered, how many are paying?
Those who are paying, there are 3 funds. The primary health care. It is free. It's walk in, walk out. It caters for outpatient. And today, 67% of Kenyans have shifted to the primary health care at the county level because they can go nearby dispensaries and health facilities. Then we have the Social Health Insurance Fund. About 3.8 million Kenyans in the formal sector pay. Now we want to increase the compliance rate. We want to make sure that more institutions, we want to introduce agency model where we create agency, we look at how many people work here. We want Kenyans who are in the farms. If you have a farm and you have staff, you pay for them. Like the agency model of the KRA. Yeah. And you know how many Kenyans have accessed that chief?
Go on.
The specialized treatment since SHA started? About 3.4 million Kenyans. Finally, let me tell you, the whole concept of the universal, the Taifa care, was to make sure that we break these rich hospitals for the rich and hospital for the poor. Today, a Kenyan can walk to Aga Khan, to Nairobi Hospital, to Kenyatta Hospital, level 6, access dialysis, paid by SHA for both the 2 sessions. I can see you're busy with your phone.
Yeah, because I'm getting so many messages here.
Right.
So many messages. People are not happy.
Please,
like Stephen Jao is saying, I got deducted 800 shillings and SHA doesn't pay for me anything anywhere. They even don't have an option of choosing the hospital. Bure kabisa.
No. What is 800? There's nothing called 800. Either you are formal, 2.7% of your income, or you go through the SHA lipa pole pole. There is no 800.
Okay, but he says he went to Kenyatta last week on Thursday, and he spent 21,000 shillings, and SHA didn't even pay a cent.
He is not a member.
What do you mean?
He's talking of 800. Which rate is he talking about? Is he in Kenya? Maybe he's in South Sudan. Listen, you work for Royal Media.
I can deduct it.
2.7% of your income.
Yeah, 2.75.
That is not 800. If you are in the informal sector, Mama Mboga, Kenyans border, they go through the mean testing. They go through the Lipa Sha Pole Pole. They pay 4 months. Then they balance. They can pay slowly. So 4 months cannot be 800.
Maybe he's in the informal sector, and by the way...
No, it's not 800 then.
Huh?
It can't be 800.
Okay, how are you going to target the informal sector?
That's why I'm telling you. Sha Lipa Pole Pole, which was launched by the president in June of last year during the Madaraka Day in Homa Bay.
Yeah.
As of today, this evening, 420,000 Kenyans have enrolled into that, paid 1.4 billion shillings, and they're accessing specialized treatment.
John Geshui.
This was not there before.
John Geshui Mboro says there's no cancer treatment drugs in Kenyatta National Hospital. Yet in private hospitals, cancer patients are suffering. What's happening?
Number one, cancer is a very serious disease, and I'm focusing on cancer, maternal mortality, and child death mortality rates. Yeah. But cancer, every year we estimate about 44,000 Kenyans
dying.
No, 29,000 die. Okay, and not only us; it's a global figure. In fact, it's raising up. And that's why the president, in his wisdom, at the State of the Nation address, he increased the SHA package, reimbursement package for cancer patients from 550 to 800. At 550, it was above the former NHIF. But when we studied and we felt they need more sessions, we took it to 800. Let me give you the good news. Roche, Roche is one of the major world pharma companies.
I know.
There's a drug that they make for breast cancer called Herceptin. It was, when I was coming to office, it was at 120,000 per drug, per session. We signed an MOU, today it's being sold at 40.
40 what?
40,000, and paid for by SHA. When I came in today, you can walk into Aga Khan, you can walk to Nairobi Hospital, you can walk to Kenyatta Hospital, do a kidney transplant, as long as you come with a donor. Both pre, post, and during the transplant, at the cost of 1.2 million shilling, fully covered.
By SHA?
Yes.
Okay, speaking of SHA, teachers are complaining that SHA is not working for them.
Jeff, Jeff, I will not allow you to do this.
Help me.
Teachers today, call Nat, call Kupetia. Teachers today are the happiest.
Come on.
Let me tell you, today we have in the scheme, the teachers' medical scheme, 415,000 teachers in our country. When they were under the private medical insurer, they could only access 800 facilities and one level 6 hospital owned by the person who was the provider. Today, teachers in our country access more than 9,000 facilities, both public, private, faith facilities. They access all the level 6 hospitals in our country. They can go to Aga Khan, they can go to Kenyatta, they can go to Nairobi Hospital. Today, teachers have got 2.7 medical cover for foreign treatment. Today, some of the teachers in different grades, maternity package benefit is 120,000. Teachers are very happy and they're dependent.
So why are they complaining?
And in fact, we are bringing the police and the prison to SHA 1st of June. We're now analyzing the data. We are putting all their dependents into our digital system. By 1st of April, 139 police officers and prison officers and their dependents will be handled their insurance by the social health.
Only 139?
Yeah. Both.
And the rest?
And no, that is the number.
139,000?
Yes.
Aha.
Both the police and their dependents. Now we are doing the data and making sure their biometrics match with the National Registration Board.
What about 8 claims of ethnic discrimination during recruitment?
We have not recruited. By the way, let me tell you, let me have an opportunity. What was in the social media is fabrication.
Oh, come on. Come on.
It's fabrication.
You're saying with this smoke?
You know, Shah is not part of royal media.
No,
Shah is under the Ministry of Health.
Yes.
The buck stops with me.
Correct.
And as I said over the weekend, on Monday they briefed me. So I have more authoritative, I have more local standard on Shah than you. So you listen to me so that I inform the people of Kenya.
Yes.
That list, number one, NHIF used to had a bloated staff of 1,800. Because Shah systems is more digital and working with digital health. Shah will only have 851 staff.
From 1,800?
From 1,800 to 851. The 851, so far, they have recruited 144, which is equivalent to 17%. So 83% of Shah staff have not been recruited. In fact, they're doing the shortlisting for about 451. Support the senior at the counties. And
yes.
So the list, which was it was misleading, fabricated. You know, our competitors are wondering in 3 years, and this is the problem. You know, President Ruto is facing. Let me talk to you as a very senior, seasoned politician.
Yeah.
The problem President Ruto is facing from his competitors. Most of some of, like my friend, former president, Uhuru Kenyatta.
Your good friend?
Our good friend.
Your good friend?
No, both of us.
Both of us.
You is your friend and your relative. But my good friend
is
a legacy problem. Because this universal health coverage could not take place during President Kibaki. And you know the reasons. The private insurers were buddies of President Kibaki.
Yeah.
You know them.
Yes.
So, the Ngilu bill was dropped in cabinet. President Uhuru tried the pilot, Kisumu, Machakos, Nyeri, and Isiolo. He had the will, he had the commitment. But the same cartels in the NHIF frustrated him. He dropped the ball. President Ruto, in 3 years, has registered 29 million Kenyans into the social. Let me finish. The legacy issue. President Ruto, today, I think the housing, the affordable housing, going on around our country, whether it is hostels, whether it's markets, whether it's affordable housing, is about 630 billion. Not borrowed from IMF, not the World Bank, Kenyan money, housing levy. President Ruto has fixed the education model that, you know, when I see somebody like Fred Matiang'i, I wonder. Fred Matiang'i is a brainchild of this CPC when he was a Minister for Education. And later, my sister Amina. Fred Matiang'i messed up that CBC. We are fixing his mess. It's now working.
It's not working.
It's
a mess.
Today at 93%.
It's a mess.
Listen, you know.
Grade 10 is a mess. Kids can't go to school.
You know, Jeff, you like using very strong adjectives. It's a mess.
Yes.
Looting.
Yes.
You know, those words of yours, you know, are hollow. You're my good friend. So, it's a legacy issue. You go to Galana. Go to Galana, please. That's where my camels are, around there. You can go there. If you see that over the 500,000 acres being irrigated, in 3 years, look at the way he has stabilized the economy. It has never happened in the history of Kenya.
That was a white.
No. It has never happened. And you know, it's good. These are facts. You have invited me to talk to you facts.
Yes.
It has never happened in the history of Kenya for the shilling to be stable at 130, 129 for 3 years. Ask any importer, any exporter.
Okay, I want to take a break.
For the economy. So President Ruto, some people cannot believe he is fixed and he defined his legacy in 3 years, that some people could not do it in 10 years.
Okay, I want to take a break, come back, and I want to talk about, this 11 billion shillings. It's still bothering me very much. By the way, it's 8% of the health budget. 11 billion is 8%.
It's not 11 billion loss. I told you these are rejections.
11.6 billion.
No, 11.6.
How do you lose 8% of your budget?
No, who told you?
What do you mean, who told me? It's all over the place.
Listen, don't read the line. 11%. And we'll still reject. I told you it was 11 billion. Today it's 11.6. So the system rejects. As we are sitting here, if it picks a fraudulent claim, it will reject it.
Okay.
So I told you, out of this 11 billion, 6.8 of the private hospitals we have rejected. We will not pay.
2.8 of public.
2.8 of the
400
counties.
million of whatever.
Yes. The 1.8.
Is there going to be punishment for the hospitals?
They have to. No, of course, there are some already we have handed over. I told you.
The files you took.
I told you 2 former CEOs of SHA before Massimo Ngangi are already facing fraud charges, abuse of office.
All right. Cabinet Secretary for Health, Aiden Duale, is in the House defending himself.
No, I'm not defending.
You're defending.
I am giving facts.
11 billion shillings.
I think
looted.
No, let me tell you.
He says rejected. We say looted.
We have. In fact, by the way, let's do this. There's rejected ones. There are some where documents are missing. The law gives you 14 days. We return the document through the system that these documents are missing, which we are not rejecting. If you bring the documents within the 14 days, we pay.
And money is missing.
No, like your facility, for example, X. If you send us documents and we feel maybe your invoice is missing, itemized invoice is missing, the system tells you you have 14 days to bring back. If you bring it back, we pay. Then there's what is called clinical review of the system. The system will say the pattern in this facility. I can give you an example. In Kwale, and I'm sure he's watching me, and we are catching up with that person. There's somebody whose dependents, his children, were 371.
Yeah. I saw that.
You saw that. Once we get all of him, we'll take him to the DCI.
Straight.
And he must show us the 371.
Children.
Yes.
Maybe his father, Abraham.
I don't think so. The only person in Kenya I can remember is Okoku Danger. And Okoku Danger didn't have 371. How many do you have? I have 5.
Oh, well done.
I'm better. At least I'm better than you.
You are.
Secondly, let me tell you, which is also very, very important.
Yes.
We have also the system has also picked a pattern of doctors who you will find them in Homa Bay today. Tomorrow you'll find them in Siaya. You'll find them in Garissa. You'll find them in Mandera.
In Wajir.
In Wajir, about 30 plus have been denied the access code of SHA. About 22 or something like clinicians have been denied. We had 6 facilities in a county where patients, 300 patients, were going through one day. So digitization is the key. So it picks patterns. It says, why is Jeff Koinange going to this facility every day, even in the primary health care? Yesterday we found a facility in one of our county, and we want to see the governor, and this is where walk-in, walk-out, outpatient, which is free. And we have seen Jeff is in the morning, he's at lunchtime, he's at 5.
Same person?
Yes, same person. Which means it's part of the fraud.
Of course.
Yeah.
Let me take a break. Come back. Do you think the Cabinet Secretary for Health, Aiden Duale, is clinically lying to us?
I've never lied. You know that. Look at me in the eyes. I have no scandal. You know that.
I know that.
Yeah, at least I have no scandal.
Yeah, no scandal. What are your thoughts? Send your thoughts, comments, questions at Koinange Jeff, at Citizen TV Kenya, the hashtag JKLive. JKLive takes a break. We'll be back in a moment. It is exactly 32 minutes past the hour, 10 o'clock on this Wednesday on JKLive here at Citizen Television. On the bench, the hot bench, Cabinet Secretary for Health, Aiden Duale. He's trying to defend himself with lots of money being looted. He says it's not looted, it's just, well, rejected, he says. But Waziri, name and shame a few of these people, because you mentioned this, you mentioned 6.8 billion from private sector, 2.8 billion from this block. Name and shame a few so that we can know who is
It's a long list. You can find it. Number one, for the counties, they have the dashboard. Out of the 2.8 billion, 10 counties account for 2 billion. Okay? There are some counties which don't have any rejection.
Okay.
Very good progressive counties. Kisumu, Makueni, Mombasa. In the private 6.8 billion, we can put it in our website. They know themselves.
We want to know them. No, we want to know them.
No. You know, these are facilities that have contractual agreement with the SHA. Okay?
Yeah.
We'll put them on our, and they know themselves, and we'll put them on. You'll see how much MP SHA, Aga Khan, Nairobi Hospital, any private facility anywhere in the country at any level, level 4, level 5, level 6. My own referrals, 500 million. Kenyatta Hospital, MTRH, Jaramogi, the rejection, Kenyatta University, the rejections are there. Faith-based, you can pick any. The PCA lot, the Anglican lot, the Catholics. So this is not, we are not hiding anything. So if our own referrals are there. And you know, because people were used to the theft of NHIF. Imagine if it was NHIF, all these 11 billion rejections could have been paid.
To those fraudsters?
To those facilities, including my own facilities. This 11 billion could have been paid by NHIF. And by the way, I have not finished. This is only October to April. And today, if you look at, during this period, the claim was 12 billion. The collection was like 7 billion. But tonight is the 29th, 28th. Our claim submitted, just submitted. We have not, the system has not looked at what to reject, what to return for documentation, okay, is far less than our revenue collection.
By how much?
By about 2 billion.
Ayub, I'm sure listeners, viewers out there, they have lots of questions and comments.
Plenty.
What do we have? What do we have?
I am ready to answer them.
Thank you.
Okay, so Abel is pulling them up, and also Monica. The first is Fred _0, who says, Bona says, yesterday I was in a private facility in Nairobi for a checkup. SHA queues are very long and some patients get critical waiting for approval. The system is very sluggish. A good health cover that isn't reliable is not efficient.
Let me tell you, our system turn around is less than 1 minute.
Why are there such long lines?
Let me finish. Some facilities want to frustrate patients so that they wait and then they pay out of pocket. And we are telling them we are doing vigilance. The system is doing vigilance on such facilities. If they continue keep waiting and blaming the system, we will deny them the authorization of SHA.
Why would they do vigilance? Why would they keep them waiting?
No, because they want out of pocket. Because for the SHA patient, they have to wait and reimburse. They want out of pocket. These are the people we are watching. The system real time is less than 2 minutes.
Go.
Next up is...
So I'm telling Fred, please, you have our command center 147. Report that facility.
147?
Yes. Either by email, by text, by phone. We have over 70 Kenyans manning that command center.
Bob Ndolo says, this is my question to the Cabinet Secretary for Health, Honorable Duale. In light of the recent reports of the loss of billions of shillings and fraud within the Social Health Authority, would it be possible to establish a special investigative unit dedicated to addressing these issues until the project is fully stabilized?
Within our own Social Health Authority, our system has the latest AI fraud engine. In our own system, we have forensic and risk auditors. We have a team of clinical review doctors. So that is why we found out 11 billion of fraudulent claims have been rejected. If we had to pay, then there could have been loss of public funds.
Okay.
So every shilling, every premium paid by a Kenyan will be followed by the system until that Kenya gets the pill, until he gets a medicine, until we see he has been given the service like surgery or maternity.
Anonymous says, hey Ayub, mid-January, my shosh was admitted. We were told we have to pay a whole year contribution first for her to be admitted, that is 7,200 shillings, out of total bill of 20,000 Kenya shillings. Social Health Authority only paid 10,000. Ask Bwana CS, why are they forcing people to pay full year contribution upfront?
I want you to tell me any insurance anywhere in the world that is monthly.
Yeah, there are plenty.
There are none. Tell me
monthly you can pay.
The sustainability of any insurance company, the philosophy, the principle, it must be an annual contribution. Tell me which country and which
vehicle allowance.
Tell me, even vehicle. Tell me.
You can pay by month for the month.
No.
Come on.
No.
Where do you live?
No.
Garissa.
That is that party.
Okay, someone here.
And please also show the people who have benefited from the Social Authority. Don't be very selective.
Wawero Kimani here is a concerned Kenyan saying.
I'm not seeing there. That must be from your village.
Yes. I pay using Lipa Pole Pole, right?
Yes.
The amount is always deducted automatically from my M-Pesa without me even entering my M-Pesa PIN. Kuna kaukora fulani hapo.
Safaricom have answered that question last week very clearly. Yeah.
What do they say?
No, the leave of Pole Pole is totally different. It's like a standard order you give in the bank. When you take a loan, when you take money,
yes,
and you have been given some guarantee,
yes,
the standard procedure follows.
Standing order.
Yes, nobody consults you. The money is checked until you finish.
Hakuna kaukora.
Hakuna. And while you were there,
yes,
he must be part of the people. About 26,000 Kenyans have paid 4 months, and then they opt out of the SHA Lipa Pole Pole. You know what people do? It's part of the fraud. They pay 4 months, they go to a facility, maybe the facility pays for them, then they incur a bill of 200 and 300, 400,000, and then they disappear. 26,000 Kenyans have opted. We are working with the consortium, with Safaricom, with DHA, to make sure that going forward, you cannot opt out.
Carry on.
You know, even if you go to another telephone,
yeah,
we will follow you. So we want now the ID card to be put there, just like the Hustler Fund. Yes.
Onkoba_John says, why should someone only be allowed to access outpatient in level 1 to 3 hospitals only? So what happens to this level 4 plus where proper equipment are and you can't access them?
Very good. Primary health care is for outpatient and it's free and it's in level 2 and 3 and you just need to register. If you require a specialized treatment in level 4, 5 and 6, you must pay the insurance premium, the Social Health Insurance Fund. So as clear as the day and night.
Okay. So next is Miriam Ahmed says, can the CS expound on DHA? Is it the same thing as Social Health Authority? What about it building the health digital backbone?
Very good to Miriam. Digital Health Agency is an agency within the Ministry of Health, just like SHA. So they work complementary. And I can give a very good example. It's like the express superhighway. That is DHA. The vehicles passing are SHA. As simple as that. So DHA provides the digital infrastructure.
The avenue.
The Afya Yangu, the Practice 360 for doctors, the track and trace for drugs, the logistics systems. DHA brings together 38 systems. So that is the highway. SHA uses that for registration portal, for ERP claims management, and all that. So there are 2 government institutions.
Don't forget you have to pay toll on the expressway.
Even DHA, the systems, they pay fees to DHA for it to run.
We move on to the next. Wesley Owor says, why is it expensive to register for SHA? If I am to register my father and mother for the Social Health Authority, I would need 24,000. That's 12,000 each. Is SHA meant to discriminate people without finances? And what is the process of monthly deductions now that Kenyans are complaining of direct deductions from M-Pesa?
You know, there are 2 sets. The formal sector, the employed Kenyans, both public, private, is a 2.7%.
Yeah, 2.75.
2.7%.
Don't forget that one.
Of your income.
Yes.
I don't know how much you pay. I think I pay about 38%.
38,000, you mean?
38,000.
38,000.
Why am I paying 38,000? I used to pay 5,000. It's to subsidize for Mama Mboga. It's to subsidize for Boda Boda. That when they go through, Boda in the informal sector, when they go through the mean testing, SHA lipa pole pole, they will not pay 38,000 that I'm paying, or that maybe the 20, or maybe you're paying 40, you're earning more than me.
I'm not.
No, I'm also likely you're a senior guy. You're earning maybe $1 million plus. So we cover them.
I hope my chairman, I hope my chairman is listening.
No, he must be watching. He's my neighbor. So them they pay like 12,000, 10,000, 8,000. The president is paying like 70, 90,000 or 100,000. Why is he paying? Before, all of us were paying a flat rate in the formal sector, and that's why the whole equity in healthcare, that if the president of the Republic of Kenya is treated, an ordinary citizen must get same treatment.
Okay.
And Jeff, by the way, members of parliament told me today that the Chama, the WhatsApp group for raising funds in Kenya, has reduced by about 51%. And by 2027, when we are going to the elections, where William Ruto will win, William Ruto will win by 2 million to 3 million votes. What he said is true.
Just because he said,
I have told you.
He said that yesterday.
No. I have with you in the bench. What I have told you happened. I told you William Ruto will win. You didn't believe it. He won. He's going to win by 2 to 3 million. The rest are jokers. The serious competitor is not around.
He might emerge.
No. Nobody.
Huh?
Raila Odinga's political constituency and stature was like a pillar. You have been to New York. Time Towers. So it has crashed. To rebuild it, it will take time. No leader had a solid, radicalized, strong constituency. All these other opposition players, they cannot fill Uhuru Park. Tell them to fill, I'll pay. I'll pay for the money. It's only William Ruto can fill Uhuru Park.
Mukhtar Khalif.
Yes.
In Wajir County, by the way. Says Mr. Dwale. Pastoralists in northern Kenya, like Wajir County, have no idea about SHA. So what are they doing about that ignorance of pastoralists who are by nature migratory than sedentary? Very good question.
In fact, very good question. They should follow Governor Olelenko of Kajiado. He says, 1 goat for SHA. You sell 1 goat, you get a premium. The leadership in northern Kenya, starting with the governors and the MCAs and the MPs, must go and tell their people that the numbers, in fact, you are very right. I'll give you the top 5 counties. Mombasa, Bomet, Kirinyaga, Nyeri, Elgeyo Marakwet,
That's fine.
Kericho, Lamu, Tharaka Nithi, The last one is...
Murang'a?
No. The last one should be from Kisumu.
Oh.
The 10 bottom.
Yeah, go on.
A pastoralist from starting with mine.
Yeah, that's because your governors live in Runda. They live in Nairobi. They're not in Wajir or Garissa or Mandera or Marsabit.
So let me give
They're in Runda.
So let me give you Turkana, Tana River, Wajir, Mandera, Garissa, Marsabit, Isiolo, West Pokot.
Good Lord. Those people live in Nairobi. The governor, they don't care about their people.
You come from Kiambu, you live in Nairobi. What's the difference?
Kiambu is a stone throw away.
Gachagua comes from, in Madeira. Yeah. He lives in Nairobi.
What's your point?
Uhuru lives in Ishaweri. He lives in Nairobi. President Ruto lives in Sugoi. He lives in Nairobi.
Yeah, how far?
Why is it a problem?
How far is what?
Why is it a problem when a Somali lives in Nairobi?
How far is what?
Nairobi belongs to all Kenyans.
Oh, really? Even governors can come and live here?
Governors of even Murang'a governor has a home in Nairobi. Nyeri governor has a home in Nairobi.
Yeah, but they don't live here all the time.
The same for northern Kenyan governors. They don't live here all the time.
They visit.
Go to their Twitter.
They visit their county.
Let me ask you a question.
Go on.
Why are you guys having a problem with the Somali community?
No, you are.
It is you guys.
How so?
No. I'm even wondering, we're talking about Shah. How did the Somali governors living in Nairobi came in here?
You mentioned the
bottom 10. And let me tell you, by the way.
Bottom 10?
By the way, let me tell you. We don't live in Nairobi. We live in London. We live in Minnesota. We have a problem with the Trump.
Well,
No. We live in Brussels. You have gone around.
Did you just mention Minnesota? You better leave Minnesota, my friend.
No. We have a congresswoman. Listen, the place I thought I would never see a Somali was Guinea-Bissau. I found 25 of them.
You did not.
I am telling you, ask President Ruto.
In Bissau?
Guinea-Bissau.
Yes, the capital is Bissau.
Yes, he asked me, are you sure that Somali is here? The biggest mall in Dakar is owned by a Somali.
No.
The biggest mall in Lusaka is owned by a Somali. You guys, the biggest mall in Lubumbashi is owned by a Somali. You guys have a phobia with Somali.
That's why.
And by the way, you'll go to the grave without phobia. Yeah. I'm just joking. You know, yes. I am a Kenyan minister serving the Kenyan. But because, you know, of the last 1 week,
yes.
I was wondering why this community that has produced great people, not to be, greater than me, generals, commissioner of police, IBC chair,
all the top jobs.
My supreme.
All the top jobs.
And they are the best. My late brother, may he rest in peace.
Supreme Court Judge.
Judge Mohammed.
Yes.
Best ministers. The first lady foreign minister. Good businessmen. Occupy 60% of Kenyan landmass.
You forget the lawyers.
Ahmed Nasir Abdullahi.
The Grand Mullah.
The Grand Mullah.
Himself.
He was readmitted, he refused. How can you be readmitted back? You see how principled he is?
Yes.
He says, I am not going back. The rest could have been there. The rest of the other senior councils could have been there in the morning.
Correct.
I like Ahmed Nasir.
He's a good
man. Very principled man.
Good man. Who's anonymous?
Anonymous.
I forgot Welie.
Aha, Welie.
Advisor to the central bank of one of the biggest economy in the Middle East.
Sure.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia.
Says Anonymous, my question to Waziri, where does that rejected money go? Is it back to the sender or Mstuni? That's one question. The second says he has said that the issue happened in 2024-5, but the report is clearly stating that Shah lost 11 billion in 6 months. Lastly, number 3 now, what measures are they going to put in place to minimize the problem? Let him answer the questions direct than meandering.
No. Tell him I have a history. I was the leader of majority first leader of majority for 8.5 years. Number 1, when you want to steal my money and I stop you, so you keep your money. I mean, they wanted to steal from us. We rejected. So we have said, you have not offered service, we will not give you a cup of tea. So Shah is keeping its money. And the money belongs to the people of Kenya. The second question is what?
When the duration, the period
of the rejection. The rejection was from October 2024 to April.
6 months.
When I went there.
6 months.
Yes, when the system was growing. And the third one was what?
To minimize measures, to remedy.
No, today I'm telling you, our system is at 98% complete. Today, in fact, if you load your documents as a facility to the digital health superhighway and one document is missing, the system will not take your documents. It will tell you a critical document is missing. Secondly, facilities now have learned. They have been trained. Now they are doing their claims lodging in the right way. Majority of the hospitals now are compliant.
Okay. Next, Leonard.
And that is, I have answered him direct.
Okay. Leonard,
if he's watching me.
Leonard Masika B says, asks CS, why is the healthy sector, I guess health sector, in limbo under your watch? Are you really on the ground, or what are you saying is reported? Is he aware that there are no drugs in the hospitals? Is he aware of what costs a woman to give birth in this country? He should stop lying to Kenyans.
He must be part of the refugee bloggers or supporters. Number one, I'm the first minister, the first country, the first health ministry to sign the US-Kenya or the US Global Health Strategy and brought 210 billion. The first country globally. Is that the minister in limbo? I'm the first minister to negotiate for reduction of price with Roche for prices to come down for breast cancer patients. I'm the minister who made sure in 8 months extra 8 million Kenyans registered to SHA. I'm the minister who detected and who said 11 billion will not be paid. They are rejected. So these are bloggers of Rigiji. And by the way, his party says they listen to the ground. Nyeri is number 3. 69% of Nyeri residents are members of the Social Health Authority.
69%?
Ask Governor Kaiga. I'll be there next week. Yeah, to do the rollout. And by the way, the other thing is, I have visited, I think, 13 counties. Every week I do 2 counties. So I go to the ground. Him is just here maybe with his phone tweeting for the so-called united opposition.
Okay.
I don't know whether they'll be united.
Okay.
Because majority of them are amateurs in politics.
Okay. Please,
why are you one of them?
Yeah.
Please, Jeff.
Yeah.
And don't skip this. 3 weeks ago, CS Duale picked a fight with a prophet in this country.
This is a good question.
I'm talking of investigation. Okay. How did this end up? Is he still investigating? I don't think what he is saying in studio right now is leading anywhere. Heri kuponywa na Mungu.
First, I hope he is a member of Bishop Owor's church. Our bone of contention with Bishop Owor is one. We believe in the faith, myself. We believe in spiritual nourishment. Whether Christian, Muslim, Hindu, Jewish. But we still take our medicine for different ailments. We cannot take our children to medical school, take them through internship. They become medical officers. They graduate, they go do masters, registrars, consultants. Very respectable profession. Then you come and say, and parade 5 of our doctors and say they have done a miracle. We have first written to those doctors. The regulator has written to them and tell them to come and give us data and evidence. But I am told Bishop Owor himself has gone to, is it India or Italy, for knee replacement. I'm looking for the hospital he went to. So if he himself can go for knee replacement, I don't know why he should ask his followers to go for spiritual nourishment and don't take. You know, this is what happened with Shakahola. You have to be very careful. We have to be very, very careful. Shakahola, thousands of Kenyans have been starved to death. But we have also written to Professor, I think the regulator has written, KMPDC has written to Professor Owor to provide us evidence where 8 patients got treated, who were positive, became negative because of his preaching.
What about the guy who went to a dental clinic and for a toothache and died?
That was a quack.
Come on.
Well, I'm telling Kenyans to verify. Now we are verifying, the system is verifying that the doctor who is doing a procedure in any hospital in Kenya, we have the visibility. Is that doctor has the right training? Does he have the right scope of practice? Has he renewed his license? Is he a member of the Kenya Medical Association? That's what we are doing.
What happens to this guy?
These now quacks cannot fit into the system.
Yeah, but what's going to happen to any arrests, any...
No, you don't know the case has been taken by the DCI. And I'm told him he's not a Kenyan.
No?
He's not a Kenyan. So Kenyans must report 147 of any facility they see or any health worker they feel is not professionally correct. We will take action.
Next.
Anonymous says, hi Jeff, if Duale is telling the truth about claims rejections, why do the social health authority staff refuse to open the system for the facility staff to see where the mistake is? How come no one has the rights to the system?
That's why he's anonymous. Tell him if he goes to the system now, if he's a facility owner, he has a code. He can go to the facility owner, he will see the rejection, he will be given the reason why it's been rejected. If it is documents missing, he will be told which document is missing, and he will be told you must return that document within 14 days. That is if he's a facility owner.
Okay. Again, Anonymous says, a lot of theory until you
see, these are the bloggers.
Yes.
These are the bloggers of the United Opposition. I wish they could provide the ID card using my phone.
Yeah.
I can even tell if they are SHA registered. Yes, I have the dashboard.
If I give you my ID, you can tell?
Oh, yes, we'll tell you before here. We'll even tell you, please first download Afya Yangu. You'll get all the information. You even don't need to carry your last CT scan. You don't need to carry it. Will be on your phone. Kenya, let me tell you, what we are doing, it's not a policy. What President Ruto and us are doing is a constitutional imperative. We are implementing Article 43 of the Constitution, the right of citizens to proper health care provided by the state.
Next. Another anonymous?
Yes. A lot of theory says until you require SHA services. On Monday, my mom was told SHA was not working at Karuri Level 4 Hospital. Mom was asked to pay, he meant 5,600 for lab tests, yet she is a paid-up member. This is the story and experience of many cases.
I really want, this is a good story. I don't know why he's anonymous. He should give us the name of his mom. I will pick with the Karuri Level 4.
These are text messages, not tweets, so that's why it doesn't reflect.
Okay, so I need to know the mom's ID and name. I will pick myself with Karuri Level 4 Hospital.
You know where it is?
Yes, I know where it is.
That's my constituency.
Yeah. And tell them if they play around with our patients, we're going to close. But I'm going to find out.
Yeah. Here's another anonymous. Oh, it's SMS, a text. Yeah. Okay. Honorable Minister Aden Duale, what program do you have for diabetic patients?
In fact, it's one of the discussions today the members of parliament also brought it. We're trying to really look at the whole benefit and tariff package of SHA. And we want to include a more robust package for diabetic patients, particularly on testing and screening. Early testing and early screening. That's how we want to. But for dialysis, now we pay for the 2 sessions.
You fully?
Fully paid by SHA. It's only patients, very few who go for 3rd session. And since SHA started, we have served 16,000 patients who went through dialysis.
For free?
Paid by SHA.
Fiona says, hello, Jeff. I'm jobless, yet I'm supposed to be paying 850 shillings for SHA. How possible? And I'm not even working.
By the way, let me tell you, you can stay without going to school. Yeah, until you die. But you can't stay with the disease. That's how important it is. And you will know the value of SHA when you become sick.
So what do you tell Fiona?
That she should pay the 850.
She has no job. She has no job.
If she was an indigent, if she was in the category of elderly, orphans, people with disability, we have so far paid 556,000 people from the social protection data. The governor of Muranga, we must clap for him. Kangata. Has paid for 38,000 indigents in his county. Other governors are following. Majority of members of parliament have paid. In the Digital Health Agency, we have a place called the Hall of Fame, where philanthropists, corporate organizations, members of parliament, governors, any Kenyan who wants to pay for indigents can pay. 2, all our CHPs, 107,000 community health promoters, because they are our frontline health promoters.
Yeah.
Beginning July, we are put in budget, they will receive free comprehensive social health insurance fund.
Next.
Text message again. What is the CS doing to assist cancer patients who have complex treatment? They have to top up and their accounts have depleted.
We have increased. We were at 550. Okay. Now we are giving them 800. After the presidential directive during the State of the Nation.
Is it enough?
But tomorrow I'm visiting one of our biggest regional cancer center in Mombasa. And we are trying to make sure that we build more cancer regional centers. We're now doing one in Jaramogi. Already we have the resources. We'll do in Nyeri. We have one in Garissa. We have one in Nakuru. The only problem we have is that we want to take it to the counties because some of the patients are very poor. They can't come to the big towns because they have to pay rent. And ultimately, we want to use the affordable housing policy to build more wards within the regional cancer centers.
Is it enough, 800?
It's enough. Far much better than where we were during NHIF. No, NHIF was 400. Somewhere there.
Another one. The CS is not being honest. I've just been denied treatment because my limit, 550,000 shillings, is over. Shah has not implemented the increments or the increase to 800,000.
Tell him, because of the new policy, the hospital must get an authorization from Shah for that extra increment.
So they have to write to Shah?
The facility that the patient has exceeded the limit of
550,000.
First, you know you're at 400. Then, if you exceed the 400, you go to the 150 from the emergency chronic and critical illness fund. Comes to 550. If you exceed the 550, then you go to 800.
Okay. Geoffrey says, tell Duale to explain why Shah does not fully cover for outpatient. You go to a public or private facility, you are told there is no medication, you're forced to buy medicine. Why?
Yes. Now, this is the elephant in the room. And the system has confirmed. And today I've told the parliamentarians. And this is what we have implemented. We have found a pattern where Kenyans go through the healthcare system, but they don't get medicine. They're told. So we're wondering why, for example, in Kakamega, PGH, 52,000 patients went through since Shah started. Only 9,000 got medicine. In Bomet, 36,000 went through the system. Only 4,600. So even the governors are wondering. But what is happening is that if you go to a lot of our county hospitals, they have been surrounded by chemists and pharmacists, owned by the same staff of those hospitals.
Yes. Yes.
And telling patients to go and buy. So we're doing two things. Number one, particularly primary health care. Every citizen who goes to primary health care will receive a text message from the Digital Health Agency asking, have you been given medicine? 2, if a patient goes through the system and the system will detect you have not given him medicine, then Shah will not reimburse you for medicine.
Yeah,
it will reimburse you for everything else, but not medicine.
But you all know this is a this is a side hustle.
No, listen.
It's a side hustle.
Listen, and that's why I'm saying there's nothing called side hustle. There's no way I can be a minister and a border rider. There's no way I can be a minister and a truck driver.
But you can be a minister and a camel herder.
No. My camels are somewhere being herded by other people. I pay them.
But you go on weekends?
I pay them for my salary. I don't hard. It's hard by other people I pay. But I cannot hard in the morning, the cameras, and the evening I'm in the office. In fact, under the conflict of interest bill. So what else are we doing? Because the question that Kenyans are having is there's no medicine in facilities. Okay? So once SHA refuses to pay the medicine, facilities will be forced to buy medicine. And now we can easily tell that Jeff has gone to this facility, he has been seen by a doctor, he has done the lab test, he has done CT scan, and we can see your doctor is prescribing medicine, but the pharmacy guy is not giving you. If there are facilities which are doing that, that's illegal, and SHA will not reimburse.
Okay.
And we want Kenyans to report that I have gone to this facility, they have refused to give me drugs. They have told me to go and buy. They just need to dial 147.
147. Mina, the first, back to Twitter, says retired civil servants under Caro were once covered by NHIF, but after its dissolution, they've been left exposed. Why aren't they and their dependents protected under SHA? And if government won't step in, who will?
And who are these?
Civil servants.
Civil servants, retired civil servants.
Under Caro?
Yeah.
I need to go and check. I am dealing with the former staff of NHIF who did not get an opportunity to be successful in the recruitment of SHA, the 1,000 I was telling you. And we are putting them in the other public service, and they will earn at the salary they were earning at NHIF. It's called self-to-salary.
So from 1,800, you said there were how many at NHIF?
NHIF, there are 1,800 plus.
And now you have 800 and change.
851. That is the established staff of SHA.
Back to text.
Again, says county hospitals are crumbling under unpaid claims, yet the ministry insists that patients be treated free. What should they use to restock the hospitals?
I told you our payment rate is at 73%. If there's a facility that has not received money, they're part of the rejection.
What? Robert,
or they are part of the ones that we have told them to bring documents.
Robert Kamau says,
if your documents are clean, because we are the custodian of the premium insurance paid by Kenyans. We must protect every shilling. The shilling must follow the medicine. The shilling must follow the patient.
Robert Kamau says, please, Jeff, ask CS Health UHC workers who worked tirelessly during COVID about our PNP letters. It was clearly said, I guess, last year by President, we get them.
In fact, you know, there was that guy who said Duale has not done anything. When I went there, you remember there was the strike of the doctors of the internship.
Yep.
I have fixed them. There was a UHC. They were earning peltry 40,000, the COVID. Now they are earning the XRC rate. At the summit chaired by the president in December 10th, the 12th summit, it was agreed that coming this financial year, and a team was formed, the Ministry of Health, Public Service, National Treasury, and the Council of Governors. Me and Governor Abdul Samad will co-chair to make sure that the amount of money is put in the equitable share in the division of revenue bill, and the counties take them as permanent and pensionable staff. So he has got a few months. But now he's very comfortable. He's earning SRC rates. All of them, all UHC.
They're okay.
And I've given them the letters confirming that. They were there yesterday in my office.
J. Kimani, hi citizen, Bwana Waziri is a liar. If the newspaper had a sensational headline, referring to the Daily Nation, he would be breathing fire with evidence.
No. You know first, Kimani, he must also be a blogger of Ricky G. You know, respectively, you can't call a minister a liar. I will not call Kimani a liar if he's watching me. However you have offended me, so he better first watch his. But I've explained to you the 11 billion. Maybe he's part of the people we have rejected their claims. He's part of the fraudulent. You can call me a liar, you can call me a bulldozer, you can call me anything, but we will not pay rejected 11 billion. And we have only paid 1.8 billion, as I told you, and we are going to recover.
Okay, Jaberi entered says, why was it so difficult for the journalist to acknowledge that the CS was the whistleblower? Why hide that private hospitals were the main culprits? Because the goal was not truth, but narrative manipulation. Cartels must fail.
I agree. And we are going to publish all these people who wanted to get the 11 billion fraudulent rejected claims, including my own hospitals, our own hospitals, Minister of Health.
You will?
We will. I mean, what we rejected for Kenyatta National Hospital, let me tell you, it was 241 million. Yes, let me start with mine. MTRH was 231 million.
So 400 million plus.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I told him, the private was 6.8 billion.
Public?
The public were 2.8 billion, mainly the counties.
That's 8.4.
No, 2.8 plus
6.8 is 9.4. 9.6.
9.6.
Sorry.
But in maths. Add 1.1 of the faith base.
That's 10.7.
No.
9.6.
10.7, yes. And then you add the 500.
You can't even count your camels. You're adding up.
Camels, I told you they're 60. And I offered to give you 50.
I'll take them.
But depending on where you rear them, you can't take them to Kiambu.
No?
No? Those ones are busy rearing. You will mix them with the pigs, you will mix them with the chicken. And you know, you will devalue the pride of a camel. I can only keep for you. Or you can go and keep it with President Uhuru. He has more camels than me.
In Narok?
No, in Taveta. The serious guy. He is a pastoralist by
association.
Yes. Maasai background.
Yeah.
Waziri, we got some final words for you to tell Kenyans right now. A lot of them are calling you a liar. They're saying SHA is a sham. They're saying health ministry or health in Kenya is in the ice.
I can tell you.
What do you say?
I can tell you without blinking. Kenyans and healthcare workers in our country are very happy with the reform agenda we are taking in the health sector under the leadership of President William Ruto. For many, many years, the Kenyan patient used to suffer. They never used to receive proper care. They never used to receive ethical care. They never used to receive the right safety. Mothers used to share beds. They used to sleep on the floor. Today, you will not see that. Today, 29 million Kenyans have registered freely out of violation. Nobody has coerced them. Today, we have equipment in all our health, county health facilities, latest equipment. Today, KEMSA refill rate is at 98%. Every 10 items you require medicine and technology from KEMSA, they have 9. By end of April, they will have 10 out of 10. Today, we have a visibility of the health sector. We can tell the bed occupancy of Kenyatta. And when it is showing red, the system tells them that either you discharge the patients who are well, or you transfer them, the new patients, take them to the next hospital. Today, we can monitor doctors who are performing surgeries. Today, we can tell the doctors who are doing, are they quacks? Are they the right one? And I'm introducing something called scope of practice. If you are trained for oncology, you'll do oncology. If you are trained for renal, you do renal. I mean, there will be order, there will stability. And I can tell you, Jeff, I'm not praising myself. Ministers from Ghana, from Zambia, are coming to learn. WHO is telling other African leaders, go to Kenya and learn a success story.
What do you think?
Those who are opposing are the normal characters who want to oppose William Ruto because he's called William Ruto. The name Ruto disturbs them. Yeah.
You're calling yourself Mr. Fix-It, is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not Mr. Fix-It. I am one person who believes in reforms. So we are reforming the health sector.
Listen to this real quick before I hand over to Ayub. Dennis says, Jeff, did you know we had a case of hospital claiming triple amputation on a patient on the same right leg, and turned out he was a watchman in the same hospital with both legs? There was a pregnant man doing a claim. CS Dwale has turned the game. Shah works.
And I'm sure there are many like this you are hiding. Why are you hiding? Please, I want to ask you one thing. Get a camera. Go talk to Kenyans. And I'm not saying it. The story, the testimonials about how Shah is working. You know, there's no newspaper that can write Shah is working. Anywhere in the world.
That's not news.
That is not news.
Yeah.
But crisis in Shah.
Yeah.
The newspapers will leave the shelf.
Dog bites man. That's not news.
That's not news. You have worked in...
man bites dog.
Yeah, I watch CNN every night.
Our people.
The day, your people, the day they have no story against President Trump.
Yes.
They take us to some other stories.
CS for Health, Aiden Dwale on the bench answering the tough questions. What do you think? You can keep tweeting at Kwenanga Jeff, at
Ayub Abdikadir,
at Students TV Kenya. The hashtag is JKLive. In the meantime, we still have business news and sports coming up. We're going to release the minister. He's going to Mombasa tomorrow and, you know, doing his thing.
Yeah, no, I'm going to a very critical thing to go and see how the Cancer Regional Center, one of our big one in the coast, we have 3, Nakuru, Garissa, and Mombasa. Myself with Governor Abdul Samad and the whole team, both in the ministry and the National Cancer Institute. We're there, we have put new machines. We want to see how our patients are being treated.
Well done. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Jeff.
Appreciate it, man.
Yes, next time you're disappearing,
I'm coming for
please, come to the farm.
I'm coming for my camels.
Yeah. But I told you on condition
that I do not put them with pigs and cows.
You know, there's a place I know, I don't want to name it.
Yes.
There's a community and people, they mix cows,
yes,
donkeys, goats and sheep and dogs. And then, so one day I stopped one of them and I thought, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
If pastors see you, they will wander with you. So you must have a herder specifically dealing with the camels. They have their own orientation, their own vegetation, their own way of grazing.
Yes.
Then the cows, then the goats. So my camels should not go to Kimbo. The weather, they will die.
Not biologically engineered for that climate. Business and sports up next year on the broadcast. Stay tuned.
Back in a moment.
Moody's upgrades Kenya's credit rating to B3, but calls for tighter controls of spending. Time for business here on the broadcast, and thanks for staying with us. So let's head to the present ratings, and Moody's ratings has upgraded Kenya's credit rating to B3, reversing an earlier downgrade that followed the unrest in the aftermath of the 2024 protests and the finance bill, the punitive tax proposals Kenyans had objected to, which was before Parliament. The ratings agency now says that the country faces a lower risk of default given its foreign exchange reserve and proper debt management, as Jasmine Wamboi now tells us in the following report.
Moody's has raised Kenya's sovereign credit rating to B3 from CAA1 and assigned a stable outlook, indicating that the country's recent financial gains are expected to hold in the near term. The upgrade reflects a lower risk that Kenya could struggle to meet its debt obligations. Moody's points to a build-up of foreign exchange reserves now at $12.2 billion, enough to cover more than 5 months of imports. At the same time, the government has eased short-term debt pressure after raising $3 billion from international bond markets and using part of the funds to refinance maturing loans. This has helped smooth Kenya's debt repayment profile. And the country's external finances have also improved, with the current account deficit narrowing on the back of stronger exports and higher remittances from Kenyans living abroad. Domestic borrowing conditions have also improved, with treasury bill rates now falling to below 8% from nearly 10% last year. However, Moody's cautions that these gains sit alongside persistent fiscal weaknesses. Kenya still spends more than 30% of its total revenue on interest payments, while the budget deficit is expected to remain high at around 6% of GDP, limiting fiscal flexibility. Moody's says further improvement in the country's credit profile will depend on sustained revenue growth, tighter control of spending, and a reduction in debt servicing costs. And failure to protect cash buffers or rein in borrowing could put the rating under renewed pressure. Jasmine Wambui, Citizen TV.
Elsewhere, the National Treasury has revealed that the country is spending upwards of 1 trillion shillings to cater for the interest payment of the country's debt. According to the Director General, the Public Debt Management Office, Raphael Otieno, this is an enormous cost of debt service that requires a shift in approach to sustain the country. This as the Office of the Controller of Budget raises concerns that overspending on the budget has led to an increase in budget deficit. Here's Jimmy Mbogo with that report.
Interest payment alone. This is according to the Public Debt Management Office. An issue that economic experts now say is concerning, questioning Treasury's revenue projection formula, which informs the country debt deficit as well as its fiscal consolidation efforts, which seemingly have not delivered the desired outcome.
The plan was to borrow up to 3.6%. The fiscal deficit was set up to 3.6% of the GDP. But as we'll see, the outturn of that was slightly higher, going up to 5.8% by June of 2025.
The interest cost alone is 1 trillion shillings, which is really heavy for...
Is that annually?
Yeah, that's annually, which is really heavy for a total expenditure of 4.3 trillion. So that's very high. Now, but if you combine that with the redemptions, we are spending close to 1.8 trillion.
But according to the Controller of Budget, Margaret Nyakango, the country's budgetary deficit and increase in public debt is a result of fiscal indiscipline.
We had overspending on the original budget and our revenues did not perform. Two things, that the positives did not come in, but the negatives increased. So really, as a country, we have to ask ourselves, what is wrong with our spending? What is wrong with our revenue collection?
To cure the increasing debt burden, Treasury is further rolling out debt swapping with an aim of issuing instruments at a lower interest cost and use that to take out debt instruments that are costly.
Yeah, the first transaction that we are going to do on a swap will be for $1 billion. That is the debt for food security swap. That is going to happen within this year. But thereafter, we will be going into the market and doing more of these swaps to make sure that any expensive debt that we have in our stock, we try to eliminate that as much as possible.
The Controller of Budget, on her part, has called for more fiscal discipline in government if the budget deficit is to be contained, calling out State House, the Office of the Deputy President, as well as the Interior Ministry for their notoriety and frequency of invoking Article 223 after failing to live within their allocated budgets. Jimmy Mbogo, Citizen TV, Nairobi.
Kenya's mining sector is set for renewed focus as engineers, policymakers, industry players and the academia meet in Nairobi for the first ever Institution of Engineers of Kenya mining sector-based conference. The forum places professional engineers at the heart of effort to improve safety, sustainability and governance as the country seeks to unlock mining's economic potential. The conference comes as Kenya targets raising mining contribution to GDP to 10% through expert-led task forces, policy advocacy and better infrastructure planning.
We need to focus on this sector and improve its potential. We don't have to remain secretive. We don't have to let it run under the artisanal miners and they do not have support because they continue to be exposed to risks of collapse. And mining generally being capital intensive, there is a need to be aware, to market the country for investors to be able to come.
Yes, we have the mineral resources, but we now need to move to what I would call proven stage. The proven stage is the investor grade information. The general information for the public is, yes, Kenya has minerals, but investors don't go with that information. They want a more structured and systematic view, which is really based on engineering knowledge.
The government is targeting the signing of investment deals worth more than $2 billion during the 4th Kenya International Investment Conference, set for March the 25th to 27th this year. The conference is expected to bring together global and local investors to finance large-scale projects. The Ministry of Investments, Trade and Industry says the forum will showcase up to 30 bankable investment opportunities with a focus on agriculture, manufacturing, ICT and renewable energy. The conference comes against the backdrop when the government is looking to shift from public to private financing for its projects. Organizers say the KIO 2026 will also highlight recent business reforms and position Kenya as one-stop investment destination as it seeks to attract more foreign and domestic capital.
We have global market access. Those countries and those regions listed there give Kenya today $55–56 trillion market access. China is coming soon, and when China comes soon, from Kenya that market size will grow to $75 trillion. You can imagine what a better value proposition than that. So from Kenya, the value proposition can really be so significant that you don't want to think of anywhere else on the continent except really Kenya, which is something very, very important.
55 days from today, Nairobi will host the Kenya International Investment Conference, KICO 26, a flagship platform in Kenya's investment promotion calendar. The conference is designed to convene policymakers, investors, captains of industry, and development partners to drive focused dialogue, forge partnerships, and deliver tangible investment outcomes. KICO 2026 will showcase Kenya not just as an attractive destination, but as a ready, competitive, and forward-looking investment hub.
And in our attraction strategy, or our private investment attraction strategy, we have three strategic initiatives. One is to build our investment climate and business environment to be more conducive and competitive. Two is to identify and package the opportunities to investment grade status. And thirdly is aggressive marketing of both the climate and the opportunity. And this conference is one of the aggressive marketing that Invest Kenya is about to do.
Bandari Football Club has joined Tusker FC, Muranga Seal and Kakamega on 27 points in the Kenya Premier League standings after a hard-fought 1-0 win over defending champions Kenya Police at the Mbaraki Stadium. After a barren draw in the first half, veteran striker Darius Msaga scored the only goal of the match in the 72nd minute. Bandari sits 7th on the log on goal difference, only a point behind Shabana and Kenya Police in 3rd and 4th positions. Gor Mahia, who play Sofapaka on Saturday, are top of the table with 36 points, having played one game less. Kenya bowed out of the 2026 Futsal Africa Cup Nations qualifiers after 7-10 loss to Namibia at the Kasarani Indoor Gymnasium. Namibia advanced 18-11 on aggregate after winning the first leg 8-4 in Namibia over the weekend. Kenya had a shaky start in the match but recovered to lead 5-4 at half-time break. The second half was full of mistakes by the Kenya team as they scored only 2 goals against 6 they conceded. Namibia used the experience and took advantage of the defensive blunders to score the goals. This was the first time that Kenya entered a team in the competition at this level of the tournament. The Professional Golfers of Kenya Equator Tour concluded at the Royal Nairobi Golf Club, bringing a highly competitive season to a close and highlighting the skill, consistency and growing prominence of Kenya's professional golfers. The team of Samuel Njoroge, Mutahi Kibugu and Mohit Medirata, alongside Matthew Wahome, playing under the Safaricom banner, won the Corporate Shield after accumulating 8,555 points throughout the season. Kenya Airways with 6,280 points finished second, followed by Johnny Walker in third with 6,025 points and NCBA Bank with 5,680 points. Greg Snow was crowned the overall winner with 4,450 points ahead of Samuel Njoroge, who finished